let's talk about a news headline. You ready?
Yes.
The Federal Bureau of Investigations. Did you know that the Pakistani that was arrested for threatening to assassinate President Trump,
Mm-hmm.
the FBI let him into the country?
They did. Again.
They knew he had contacts in Tehran.
He was on the terror watch list.
He was on the terror watch list. And
They
the
had eyes on him.
That same FBI that pursued Jason Patrick and almost killed him, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, because Jason Patrick walked around with a Constitution and a blue blazer, and they couldn't have that. You know, they had to show their power and authority, didn't they?
Yeah.
They had to go destroy a guy. And ladies and gentlemen, our government has become so destructive to everything that we believe in, everything that human beings believe in, okay?
Mm-hmm.
They are antithetical to that. Our U.S. government must be destroyed. It must be just redone. It is unsalvageable. Because, you know, they won't even mention them. They'll say, oh, it's conspiracy theory that the government has something to do with Jason Patrick. Oh, yeah, you had him all over the news. He was real important then. Why is he not so important now? Why? Because it doesn't favor you.
Mm.
It only favored them when they could put him on the news 24/7, around the clock. Remember that? 24/7, bombarding the American public, bombarding them, declaring who these people were. And we were literally looking up on the screen while we're behind bars and the media piling on to brainwash the population. This is before a jury convenes, right? Because that's what they're doing.
Oh, yes.
They have to get a potential jury brainwashed to believe that the people that they're going to see at trial are really, really bad people. And it's all based on lies that the media works hand in glove with our government. The media, okay? You disgusting propagandists, you filthy propagandists. I mean, look at what they're doing with the stolen valor of a vice president. And they're like, well, it's okay, you know. It's okay. He should be destroyed like they normally do to other people. Was there anybody else that had a stolen valor issue or had an issue with the... What happened with the gun Swift boat scandal? Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
The Swift boat scandal? Who was that? John Kerry?
Yeah.
They destroyed John Kerry, and he's like the leftist darling, right?
Mm-hmm.
Destroyed him. They're not going after this guy. Not only is he out there putting himself out there, Waltz, putting himself out there on a lie, okay? A lot of men and women that actually went overseas, they deployed, they fought and died, okay? On their backs, he's claiming to be associated with that level of honor and recognition. That's why he's throwing out that he was, command sergeant major. Have I ever said, I've even said that the 2 times that I was ever in a bad situation under fire, it's so embarrassing that I do that to give more honor to those that were, like John Ritzheimer, okay? He called himself, he's a Marine. He called himself a poolie, right?
Mm.
And he was in Iraq, a poolie. You know what a poolie is? Motor pool, MOS.
Yeah.
And I'm like, poolie? Yeah. He goes, yeah, I used to drive refuel tankers around in Iraq. And I'm like, oh my God. It is literally one of the most dangerous jobs on planet Earth. You're better off. Actually, they will pay less attention to a Marine running around with a, with an M4, and a grenade launcher. They won't pay attention to that guy. All right, he can roam freely, but the dude driving the tanker trunk of fuel, they're on that guy. He's got a 1-point-something%, chance of surviving from point A to point B. Target of the terrorists. because John Ritzheimer represented one of the biggest explosions that they could ever make. You know what I mean? The fire that's created from that. And he called himself a poolie. Me, I was in the Marine Corps, got out before Iraq. Have I ever claimed to be some important person that, right, compared to those that deployed overseas? Have I ever?
No.
You know why? Because that's dishonorable to those people. If this guy is not, if he doesn't resign just for what he did in that regard, not presenting himself as something, but dishonoring those that truly did put their lives on the line. Stolen valor is a crime for that reason.
Right.
It's dishonorable. It's like peeing on the graves of those that sacrificed their lives.
I mean, I'm going to say something here that, will be a little bit controversial. I think especially with you and being former military. But, I do have to say this. Remember how hard everybody was pushing for them to get rid of Joe Biden. And they did. And look what we got.
Look
I think
at
we
that.
need to be really careful about saying we, want them to push him out, because he right now, I mean, we have so much ammunition against this guy, and it works, right? And the longer she keeps him in this campaign, the worse it looks on her. We actually have ammo on this guy. The last thing we need for her to do is push him out and then put in Pete Buttigieg or Gavin Newsom or some other communist. This guy, Walz, is a bad character, and I think people can see that, right? There were so many people for the last 4 years trying to push Joe Biden out, and they finally do it. And I think I was one of the lone voices saying, be careful what you wish for, y'all. I mean, do you realize Kamala Harris, if you push him out, he's going to become the president? And here she is, Miss 1%. She got 1% and had to drop out even before she got to Iowa in the presidential race of 2020. But here she is, not one single vote, nobody voted for her. Nobody. I mean, 1%. Well, how many is that? Like a few thousand people? Not even enough to make it to, through or to Iowa in 2020. And here she is, standing in line to be the president of the United States of America. And, that's what we get. Is she is radical. She's not as dumb as everybody thinks she is. She may be dumb, but let me tell you something. In certain respects, but the one thing that she is evil. That's what she is. She's an evil Marxist. She is. And she doesn't have to be smart. Joe Biden wasn't smart. He shouldn't have been the president of the United States. He wasn't smart at all, Pete. And he became the president. And look at the damage that he has done. And the thing is, all of these people who are behind him love the damage. They want the damage. They want somebody like Kamala Harris in office so she can damage the United States even more. So be careful what we wish for when we say, they need to get rid of Walz. I think he should stay in there. I think we have a lot of ammo against this guy. I think he's beatable. And I think J.D. Vance is going to wipe the floor with this guy, And Kamala Harris, on the other hand, I am worried about Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
I'm worried about her.
Yeah, but you're right. I'm not gonna say that you're not right. Okay, but I'm so principled. Okay?
Yes,
I'm so principled.
Yeah,
that I don't want President Trump to say he won because his competition was so disgusting. Right? You know what I mean?
Well,
like you see what I'm saying? Like Oh, leave him in there because he can be beaten. Well, okay, that's like dragging
I
Joe
didn't
Biden.
say he could.
No.
Did I say
I'm
he
just
could
saying.
be I may have said he could be beaten, but I didn't
You're
mean
saying
it that
leave him
way.
in there because we got him.
Well, no, I mean
right?
because we actually have something to combat him on. We have something to
Sure.
combat him on.
Yeah, but there are certain things that should have disqualified him to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
He shouldn't have been a vice presidential candidate. I'm gonna tell you why right here. You ready? We're talking about a man. Okay, same thing. FBI, Pakistani terrorist, known on the terror watch list. They let him into the country.
Mm-hmm.
Well, is that intentional?
Listen, how many times have they done this? And we're going to keep saying
how many times have they done this?
The underwear bomber.
How many times have they done this?
Every time there's a mass shooter, it's like that person was on our radar.
How many times?
Yeah.
How many things can Deb Jordan list? How many things?
9/11.
The Boston Marathon bombing, where we have audio recordings of them saying, we have apprehended Sunil Tripathi and Mike Mulugeta, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the FBI comes in and said, we have the Tsarnaev brothers. And we're like, what is that?
And if you remember the Tsarnaev brothers, they were also let into this country, very radical, on student visas. They were on the FBI's radar because they were so radical. Mm-hmm. They were known to the FBI. They were known to law enforcement. Mm. And it was another case of
how many pictures did I show you where I contacted the FBI in Boston investigating the Boston Marathon bombing, and I said the picture that you have right there of Tsarnaev walking down the street, has his backpack photoshopped off, okay, right? Mm-hmm. He had a backpack on, and it was Photoshop was used to remove his backpack, right? Yeah. And B, he's walking away from, the bombing, right? Mm-hmm. And he had his backpack on, essentially. The backpack was on his back, and he's walking away from the Boston Marathon bombing. I gave it to the FBI, and guess what happened? Nothing. Mm-hmm. Nothing. Okay? They're you know what they are? They're the secret police. Mm-hmm. And having secret police in a democracy makes it not a democracy. Did you hear what I just said?
Yes, because there was another reporter who had the original photos of the Zanarovs walking down the street
with his backpack on
after the bombing, and they still had their backpack. What was his name? He's from Rhode Island.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
he's come on our show.
I have it in a file. I have so much like forensic evidence that the FBI is corrupt.
He confronted them, and they almost arrested him. Yeah, because he confronted them over those photos. But it just goes to prove that what lengths the government will go to. But yeah, this new guy, they want to blame it on Iran. They want to switch the narrative from this kid who was obviously a leftist who took a shot at President Trump to conveniently say, "Oh, we have another guy, and he was coming into the country to kill the president." And I think maybe somebody blew the whistle on all of that, and they were forced to arrest this guy. It's amazing. It's amazing what's happening in our country right now. When when you look at you got to take a step back and look at the overall picture, and you're like, okay, we are literally getting ready to have an election that is not secure. 4 years there were people out there who were trying, Pete. They really were. I mean, Mike Lindell, he spent a fortune. But this machine is so big that it just put a little dent in it here and there. Do you know what I mean? All the work that was done, people They have brainwashed the people, half the people in this country, to where they would vote for Satan himself before they would vote for Donald J. Trump. They really would, knowing that they're going to be sent straight to hell and burn in the lake of fire forever and ever. They would still cast that vote for Lucifer every single time.
What if there was a product that could help you control cravings, burn more fat, boost your metabolism, promote healthy blood glucose levels, lower inflammation, optimize insulin sensitivity, support healthy blood lipid levels, and support healthy blood pressure? Introducing Bellatrim. Bellatrim may be the most comprehensive body transformation product in the world. Weight management is more than calories in and calories out. It's about controlling appetite, having a healthier gut, supporting insulin function, stimulating fat-burning metabolism, and promoting healthy blood lipids and blood pressure. A proprietary blend backed by 6 clinical studies. Control cravings. Burn more fat. Bellatrim, powered by nature. Backed by science.
Sign up for monthly AutoShip and get a big discount. Visit pete.bellagraceglobal.com today. That's pete.bellagraceglobal.com. Today!